What's going on, you guys? Bushido's Monologue, episode 11. Your boy Bushido just got done doing some late night pad work. I've been working on some boxing. Originally a kickboxer, but I've been training boxing, and I think I'm coming along nicely. I'll be posting some videos and stuff soon. But there's some things that's been going on in the boxing community that's been kind of annoying to your boy. I don't like to speak on it during lives or during my regular videos, but I'm going to speak on it during this monologue. And it may be controversial to a lot of people. And I don't mean to offend those who are subscribed to this channel, but it's just some things that I've been noticing amongst boxing. And one of the main topics that I've noticed, even before I got on YouTube, race seems to be a very strong topic when it comes to boxing. You could literally post something about race. You ain't got to necessarily be racist or offensive or anything, but here come everybody. Everybody coming in. The floodgates are opening. Here come everybody. They want to talk about race, but then they act like they're uncomfortable when we talking about race. And I noticed that guys like Tank Davis, who come out and give guys like Canelo high praise, said that's me at 168. The fans attacked Gervonta Tank Davis. They attacked him for comparing himself to Canelo Alvarez. I mean, Canelo Alvarez has reached a new status in the boxing world. It's almost funny because back during the Gennady Golovkin saga, where were all these Canelo fans at then? It was guys like your boy Bushido riding for Canelo, but where was these guys at then? It was Mexicans for Golovkin and all this other shit. Where was these guys at? You couldn't find them. Couldn't find them. But now, I really don't want to. The standard is different for black fighters, right? Whether you want to admit it or not, the standard is different. It's different. Certain black fighters are going to have to do a lot more than your average white fighter or Hispanic fighter. They're going to have to do a lot more to be considered pound for pound, et cetera, et cetera. Remember Chocolatito? Remember him? I like Roman Gonzalez, but for me, he came out of nowhere. He literally came out of nowhere. This smaller weight, booger weight fighter came out of nowhere, and they was deeming him as the number one pound for pound boxer in the world for quite a bit of time. Of course, he got beat by Sor Rungvisai, and, that's now history, but he got a lot of credit for moving up in weight, beating these guys. But other dudes, black fighters, they can move up in weight and beat guys, and they don't get the same type of notoriety or same type of credit. They don't. And I had somebody on my stream the other day come out and say some things that kind of got me riled up a little bit, because the way I see this shit is that your boy Bushido can come out here and congratulate and praise any fighter of any nationality, any race. But I feel that these guys of these races or nationalities won't do the same. They won't. They won't do the same if this black man comes off as a proud black man. They won't do it. They will never give Floyd Mayweather credit. They will never give Deontay Wilder respect, right? They may give Bud some respect, but then again, they won't, because he'll be direct competition with Canelo Alvarez. Not to mention, you got other black folks diminishing black fighters. You got other black folks pandering to these guys that don't really give a fuck about you. They just like the shit that you're saying because it fits their narrative, it fits their agenda, and it makes them feel comfortable being racist when they see other black people being racist towards black people. Yeah, I told you guys this video is going to be very controversial. Very. And I noticed that the Latino guys, they stay on code. They stay on code with each other, right? They always stay on code with each other. But then you'll turn around and see videos from black YouTubers just kind of going against the grain, praising those who wouldn't even fucking spit on them if they was on fire, praising those who don't give a fuck about them. It's disturbing. And then when you look in the comment sections, you see these guys who always like to say, oh, well, why are you making it about race? But then these same dudes be in your comment section talking about Mexicans rule boxing and all this other stuff, right? Black fighters this, black people that. And like I said before in my live, I think it's a inferiority thing. Because I have no problem giving credit when it's due. No matter who you are, no matter how you look, no matter what color you are, any of that bullshit. But I just feel it's not the same for us. People wouldn't have gave Deontay Wilder respect or credit. Well, now, this is what they tend to do. Even back in the day, if you're an undefeated black fighter or a dominant black athlete, they won't love you until you fail. They won't love you until you lose, till they see that you're actually human. They want to see you humbled. But Conor McGregor, and I like Conor McGregor. I think he's dope. But Conor McGregor can walk around here, beat up on old people, do this, do that, say whatever he wants, be as arrogant and brash as he wants, and they love it. They love it. But when a black fighter is cocky or arrogant or full of confidence, oh, well, he's just a cocky piece of shit, These are some of the things that I noticed, and that's some things I've been noticing for years. I'm not doing this monologue to offend anyone. I'm just addressing the obvious. Black fight fans aren't allowed to fully represent black fighters. They're not allowed to cheer for those who look like them like everybody else. We're labeled race baiters, racists, everything under the sun. Just from supporting black fighters. Just because we support black fighters don't mean we hate everybody else. Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Asians, every other nationality or race of people are allowed to fully represent and support those who look like them or those who come from the same place as them with no backlash, no repercussions. But when a black fight fan does it, oh, he's pro-black, oh, he's racist. I'm sure a lot of people thought I was racist and all this other shit because I was a big Deontay Wilder fan. I am a big Deontay Wilder fan, absolutely. Right? See, your boy Bushido, one thing, and I told you guys this early on, one thing your boy Bushido is not going to do, I'm not going to pander. I'm not pandering to fan bases. This is probably why I don't have 10, 15,000 subs by now. Because I don't pander. Of course, the channel's doing very well. But it probably could be doing better if I was pandering to fan bases, lying to you, telling you what you want to hear. But when you come to Bushido Boxing, everything you hear may not be what you want to hear. And I normally don't want to be bringing up these type of topics on the channel. But just some of the comments, as the channel has grown, I get a lot more traffic on this channel now. A lot more traffic from people just all over the world. And I'll be reading some of these comments from some of these guys. And I can only shake my head. I can only shake my head. Dudes be saying some pretty disgusting things. And I can only imagine if YouTube wasn't censored like it is, if it was like it was before everything's been censored, I can only imagine some of the things that I'll say. I mean, some of the things that I see in my comment section. Hell, I remember some of the things I used to see before I even really was a YouTuber. Back in the day, I remember some of the stuff that I used to see on YouTube. I mean, like, damn, are they going to censor any of this stuff? And are they going to crack down on any of this stuff? Well, now they do. So if you come on here saying anything crazy, YouTube automatically don't even let you post it. I remember back on Facebook, it was the same thing. You know? Can't say nothing. I think that's a good thing, though. Because a lot of these dudes, they only will do that on the internet. I don't get joy out of attacking people or being racist or just being a fucking dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the comments that I've been seeing, most particularly from that video. It's pretty going viral right now. That video of that lady fighting that guy, the intergender bullshit. I don't think it's cool. A lot of dudes think it's cool. A lot of dudes think it's cool. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. But the double standards in boxing is something that I've been noticing for a long time. You almost get shunned if you speak about it. And this is why I respect guys like Dante Boxing Nation. Because despite the big following that he has, despite the platform that he has and him able to get access to these fights, he still speaks his truth. He's still going to tell you the truth. A lot of fight fans, even black fight fans, don't like guys like Dante Boxing Nation. And when I see these dudes come on here and say, well, how come we all can't, get along, and why does everything got to be about race? And unfortunately, that's just the way it is, bro. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Boxing is it's about race, pride. That's what boxing is about, people. Boxing is a very race-driven sport. Whether you like it or not, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. It's a race-driven sport. Ask yourselves this. If Muhammad Ali was alive today, doing the same exact thing that he was doing back in those days, will fans love him? Will fans even have ever loved Muhammad Ali if he never had Parkinson or never became a shell of his former self? The beaten down, would they have loved him? It seems like they don't love you till they see you vulnerable, till they see you down, till they see you defeated. Then that's when they, especially for the black athletes, black fighters, they can never give you just your credit and your praise while you still, doing your thing. Andre Ward, for example, he's a perfect example. You can't. What bad could you say about Ward other than he fought a little dirty at times, right? Family man, God-fearing man, et cetera, et cetera. But man, he was under some criticism, unwarranted criticism. Did right by the sport, honest man, honest fighter, right? But he was under some harsh criticism. I felt it was unwarranted. Even from black people that was coming at SOG. I felt it was unwarranted. But for fans to get at Tank Davis for comparing himself to Canelo, see, what Tank Davis thought what was going to happen was that he thought that he was going to win over the Canelo Alvarez fans. That's what he thought. But they don't want you to do that. They don't like you. They don't want you to even compare yourself to him. Even though you think Canelo may be a great fighter. If you're black, you can't even say his name. I get dislikes. Even when I praise Canelo, even when in times when I praised Canelo or made a highlight video, dudes always find a way to kind of try to shit on me. And I felt it was just because they was racist. Truth be told, 2 of my kids are Mexican. You know what I'm saying? So I already understand. My last relationship was with a Mexican woman for about 7 years. Their mom. And for the longest time, her family wouldn't let me even come into the house. They wouldn't even let me come in the house. I had to sit in the driveway type shit. You know what I'm saying? Not no thug, not no criminal, not a fool that's been in and out of jail. None of that. Well, I had to sit in the fucking driveway. Why? Because I was black. But guess what? My mom welcomed my ex with open arms. Didn't show her no signs of prejudice or anything. Treated her just like she was, it's different. It took them years for them to really accept me, Well-spoken, all that. They don't, it's different, man. And it pisses me off when I see dudes pandering. Guys like Moni Brown. Pandering. Guys like IFBP. Pandering. Just pandering. They saying what you want them to. They saying what you want to hear, and they love it. And these dudes making a nice penny from it, from pandering. And I know I got some Mexican subscribers to the channel, and there's no offense to you guys, bro. But I see a lot of bullshit in my comment section. A lot of bullshit, man. I ain't gonna lie, your boy Bushido get a lot of love too, though. I feel like I get more love than hate. But this whole shit with Canelo Alvarez, man. Mexicans rule boxing, just a lot of shit, man. There's so much shit. I had it in the back of my mind. I can't even remember it now. But they be saying a lot of crazy shit, man. A lot of crazy shit. And the vibe that I get from it is they're insecure. Okay, Canelo Alvarez the man right now. He got the juice. Cool. Bravo, man. That's good. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see Canelo give some black or brown guys an opportunity, though, once again. Because the last time he did that was Danny Jacobs and Julio Cesar Chavez, and that was a long time ago. That was a long fucking time ago. He's been on this European tour beating up on these guys. I mean, even Teddy Atlas is getting tired of it. So am I wrong for getting tired of seeing one of the guys they consider the best fighters in the world fight these guys? These guys that he's going to beat up on? You know what I'm saying? Is it wrong for me wanting to see Canelo fight a black fighter or a Mexican fighter? Is that wrong? Because I see what he's doing. And I see what and I've been noticed it. I see what he's doing. And that's why me personally, I can't consider Canelo the best boxer in the world. I can't. He's able to do whatever he wants when he wants to do it. He's able to fight 4 times in a year. Who else is able to do that? Nobody. Oh, oh, well, I don't like race in my boxing. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because anytime anybody say something about race, here y'all come. I used to do shit on purpose on Facebook just to see what type of reaction I get out of people, and they work like a charm every time. That's what people want to hear. They act like they don't want to see it. They don't want to hear it. Now, when it's coming from a black person, that's when they say, oh, well, you're being racist or you're race baiting. The standard is different for black people, man. Only the real would acknowledge it. Others be like, oh, well, This is why guys like this is why groups like LDBC exist. Dante's Boxing Nation. Because of the bias and double standard in the sport. Black fight fans can't even support black fighters without being labeled racist. Black fight fans can't even criticize or use constructive criticism against a non-black fighter without being labeled racist. Why we got to be racist? Why? I just had a dude tell me that Canelo's pound for pound greatest of all time, even over Sugar Ray Robinson. I just had a guy tell me that. That Canelo Alvarez is pound for pound over all the great fighters in history of the sport of boxing. Canelo Alvarez is the greatest. Not even Julio Cesar Chavez. Canelo Alvarez. For me personally, Canelo's good. And even though I feel that he's unbeatable for different reasons, I don't see him as the greatest of all time by any means. By any means. By any means. There are so many guys that I can match him up with from history of boxing. And not even just black dudes that'll beat the shit out of Canelo. That'll beat the shit out of him. Yeah, I know y'all didn't want to hear that. But there's a lot of guys from middleweight on up to light heavyweight throughout the history of boxing that will beat the shit out of him. But in this current state of boxing today, guys like Canelo Alvarez have a strong hold on the sport. Strong hold on the sport. Where was all these people at back when Triple G was around, though? Where was they at then? That's why I keep asking. Where is they at? You notice how guys like Teofimo, Rolly, all those guys stay on code with each other. You notice that? They stay on code with each other. They don't, they'll big up one of their own before they'll big up a black fighter. I peep game on all of it. And the black fighters tend to say and do things to try to win over these fan bases, a la Jamel Charlo, and guys like Tank. They'll say things to try to win over that particular fan base, but I don't know why they even try. These guys don't like y'all. Yeah, they may like the things you have said, like Charlo saying what he said, but they don't give a fuck about you. They're not about to buy tickets to see you fight, fool. They don't about to buy your pay-per-view. They're not about to contribute to your cause. They don't give a fuck about you. They just like you out here cutting a jig. This is why these channels like guys like... This is why these guys like channels like Showbiz. Who else be out here just... it's a lot of guys who I feel is just kind of cutting a jig just for the buzz. They're not necessarily LDBC, so they go against the grain and go into LDBC because it's kind of popular. It's still the popular thing to do. You know, if you're a black guy and you're not LDBC and you kind of going against the LDBC, that's popular. That's a popular thing to do because then you're not racist and you're unbiased. See, those are that shit is a code word. That unbiased and what else they like to use? You turn into a biased channel. That means a black channel. I know all the code words these guys used to use. It's code words, because you can't just come out here and say anything anymore on the internet. So they use code words now. It's stupid, man. I never been one that'll be upset if a British guy was rooting for a British fighter, a Mexican guy rooting for Mexican fighters, Puerto Rican guy rooting for Puerto Rican fighters. So I don't expect people to be upset by me being an American rooting for an American fighter. But see, it's different. We're not allowed to do that here without being labeled or branded. But for those of you who follow the channel, you already know your boy Bushido always ride with the home team before all. Why? Because everybody else does it. The Puerto Ricans get to root for the Puerto Rican fighters. The Cubans get to root for the Cuban fighters. The Eastern Europeans get to root for the Eastern Europeans. The Mexicans get to root for the Mexicans. So how come the black folks can't root for the black folks? And I think a lot of black guys feel the ones who don't openly support black fighters, they want to be accepted by these racist guys or these prejudiced dudes. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why. I see a lot of bullshit on the internet. A lot of bullshit. Some of you may not like this video, but that's cool. You ain't supposed to like it. It ain't for you. Just because I'm talking about race, don't make me a racist. See, those who get uncomfortable talking about race, well, they may be racist. But how about you see racism? How about you witness racism? But when you see it or witness it, you act like you don't see it. You act like you don't see it. It's funny. I had a lot more to say. I was a lot more amped up, fired up before I did the pad work. I'm kind of chill now. I had to hit the mitts. I'm kind of chill now. But I was pretty fired up. I was pretty fired up. But I guess it's a good thing I did do the mid work before I start doing this monologue, because I calmed down significantly since prior. But I'm just getting sick of the double standards, right? And just because you support black fighters don't mean you hate everybody else. I, for one, wasn't raised to hate nobody. Most people I grew up with or know, we weren't raised to hate nobody. Why? Because it doesn't get us nowhere. It doesn't get us nowhere. To hate somebody, it just doesn't get us nowhere as black people. It just doesn't get us nowhere. So I wasn't raised that way. But experiences through life and just paying attention to how other people move, it's like, well, and it's not even just the other people, it's black people too. I seen a video where And this is clearly pandering. And if you listening, you know who I'm talking about. But it says something to the effect that Jaime Menguia is number one in WBC and WBO. Will Charlo and Boo Boo duck Jaime Menguia? Now, immediately reading that, I thought to myself, this motherfucker pandering like a motherfucker. He know damn well those dudes ain't about to be ducking no Jaime Menguia. But see, it's popular for black channels to pander to Mexican fight fans. It's popular. It's popular. You should respect guys like your boy Bushido more. Why? Because I'm not going to pander to you. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Now, if I say what you want to hear, then that's really me speaking from the heart. It's not going to just be me telling you what you want to hear. And that's going to stay that way on this channel. I'm not going to just tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to speak from the heart. You may agree or disagree. You may not see it my way, but that's just the way I see it. Your standard is different for black fighters, man. A guy like Terrence Crawford is going to have to do a lot more than a guy like Lomachenko would have to do. To even secure the opponents has been a mission for a guy like Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I've been so big on Bud being pound for pound number one for all my black fight fans who's been arguing with saying Canelo's pound for pound. You think they'll ever say Bud Crawford's pound for pound, dude? You think they'll ever say Terrence Crawford's number one pound for pound over Canelo Alvarez? Hell the fuck no. But you got a lot of black dudes that'll go against the grain and say that Canelo Alvarez is pound for pound number one over Bud Crawford. Oh, Bushido, don't make it about race. But you guys already made it about race years ago. This boxing always been about race. Go watch some of the old fights, old documentaries. The Black Murderers Row was a real thing because the white fighters didn't want to fight black fighters. They didn't want to give them time of day. So they had to fight each other numerous times. And this is the same thing as damn near happening today. Well, these guys, today is Canelo Alvarez. Well, the black fighters, the good ones, the ones that still got something left, the ones that ain't falling down the hill, they may not get the opportunities that, so they got to have to fight each other. It's the same thing, man. It's the same thing. Canelo Alvarez is going to stay away from certain guys that can whoop on him. I know a lot of people big on Canelo right now, and Canelo, he did his thing, but when are you going to fight somebody that could possibly beat you? When are you going to fight somebody that we just don't know if you go win? When are you going to fight somebody to where even your fans don't even know? When? When are you going to fight somebody that don't respect you other than Triple G again? Because when they don't respect Canelo Alvarez, they come in there and fight harder. But when they respect him too much, then they up in there pity patting. And that's what this European tour plus Caleb Plant has been all about, pity patting. It's been all about pity patting. But yeah, I know this fight was controversial to a lot of people, but it's just been something that's been bothering me. The double standards, the racial undertones. It's almost like they're trying to make us jealous. They were so happy when Clarissa Shields lost. She's so happy. It's not like she got dominated or knocked out or anything. They were just so happy she took a loss. In a sport she's new in. She's not even really good at it yet. But they were so happy she lost. It makes me wonder if she was Hispanic or Caucasian, would they have been praising her downfall? Ask yourselves that. Would they have been praising Clarissa Shields' downfall if she wasn't a black woman? They probably wouldn't, man. And for all my non-black subs, don't take no offense. I'm just calling it how I see it. Is it fair? Nah, it's not. But it's never been fair. It's never been fair. The standard is different for black fighters, black people, black athletes in general. It's different. Got to do more. Tyson Fury gets labeled the greatest heavyweight of all time for beating the Bronze Bomber, and yet the Bronze Bomber is being labeled a bum by everybody else. But since Tyson Fury beat him, now Tyson Fury is considered the greatest of all time. So if Deontay Wilder had to beat Tyson Fury, would they give him that same credit? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And guess what? You got a lot of black folks that'll agree with that. So this is why groups like the LDBC exist. This is why guys like Dante Boxing Nation exist. You got Devin Haney coming out here praising Canelo, fans attacking him. You got fans coming for Jojo Diaz because he said he was rooting for his boy, Caleb Plant, a white guy. He wanted Caleb Plant to beat Canelo. Guess what? They came for him. Oh, you supposed to ride with your race? And see, they can speak freely like that and say things like that, and nobody will check them for it. But if a black guy comes on there and says something like that, oh, you're race baiting and this, that, and the third, the standard is different. And it's something I've just been noticing for years, even long before I came on YouTube. It was worse years ago, back when people could really just say the N-bomb and call you monkey and all this stuff. It's a lot worse. It was a lot worse back then. But now they're a little bit more low key with it. They're using code words and they sneak shotting you. So glad to see a black fighter fall. This is just so glad. They were so glad when Wilder lost. They were so glad when Clarissa Shields lost. She didn't even lose in boxing. They were just so glad she lost. See, black folks, we can't have confidence. We can't show strength. Or we're labeled cocky, arrogant. We need to be humbled. I hate them. Shit like that. See it all the time. But Canelo can come out here and say, payday. Get the fuck out of here. You're a Hooper fight. He can come out here and say whatever and do whatever. They go praise it. They go put sprinkles on it and every fucking thing. And this video just ain't to Hispanics or Caucasians or Brits. This is to black folks too. This is for black people too. Yeah, this is a racial video. But this is for black people too. Because I see a lot of black people just doing the most for the bag. They're doing the most for the bag. Some of your favorite YouTubers that you never seen before, that you never seen on camera before, may actually be black guys. You may think they're Latino or Hispanic, but they actually are black guys. And they saying what you want to hear, you're going to keep supporting them. But see, a channel like your boy Bushido, he may not necessarily say what you want to hear. But it's not me pandering to you either. At the end of the day, I respect all fighters. Hell, two of my favorite boxers, one guy's an Asian, Naomi anyway, and another guy's from Ukraine, Lomachenko. Two of my favorite boxers. You know what I'm saying? How many of you non-black guys come on here and say, oh, well, Deontay Wilder's my favorite fighter? Honestly, I don't think I ever seen a non-black person say that the Bronze Bomber was his favorite fighter. You may have some Latinos that like Floyd a lot. But as far as like the Bronze Bomber, maybe Andre Ward, you hardly ever see it. You got a lot of black folks that come out and say, Canelo's my favorite fighter. Canelo's my favorite fighter. Fury is my favorite fighter. You see, it's different with us. We're labeled racist and race baiters and all this other bullshit, but a lot of us like other fighters from other nationalities. See, now guys, non-black guys today, yeah, they'll represent or they'll praise the black fighters from yesterday, throwbacks, but they won't praise the current guys, Tanks. You know, they won't give Tank love and credit. Tank Davis is an exciting young fighter. Guess what? They don't like him. Devin Haney, he's a talented young fighter. You know, guess what? They won't like him. Shakur, probably one of the most craziest talents you see. Guess what? They won't like him. But if all these dudes were white guys or Hispanic or even Asian, they'll love him. If Lomachenko was a black guy, would they like him? His career probably wouldn't even move the way it moved. A two-time Olympian, awkward style, probably tough to prepare for. And if he was a black guy, man, Lomachenko, he wouldn't even be a thing, man. He probably wouldn't even get half the opportunities that he got. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, this is all I got. I know this is probably a controversial monologue to some. I know some people don't want to hear that stuff, but I think a lot of people really do want to hear it. I'm just tired of seeing it. The undertones, you know. And I feel that people just come at me just because I'm a black guy. You know what I'm saying? Like when I talk about other sports, I feel like they try to insult my intelligence just because I'm black. Oh, what your black ass doing talking about this? You don't know nothing about that. I get those vibes. You know, they hear a black voice. They automatically try to dumb you down, make it look like you stupid. All this other shit, man. I've dealt with it before so many times over the years. Just because of the way we talk. Just because of our accent or our slang. But the British guys can come out here and say all these strange, funny words, and you know what I'm saying? Do we insult their intelligence? No, that's just how y'all talk. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I know this is probably not necessarily boxing, but it was just something that was on my mind. The racial undertones, the racist undertones, the double standards, just the bullshit that comes with being a boxing fan. You know what I'm saying? Just so glad. Like, I don't never see them. And like I said on my live the other day, I forgot who I was arguing with. Somebody said something crazy. And I said, look, dude, I think he got mad because I was kind of telling the truth about Canelo. It wasn't even nothing vicious, but he got mad. You know, you can't say nothing about Canelo unless you dick riding him and shit. And even then, if you're a black guy, you say this about Canelo, well, then they still may hate it, right? Because you're just black. I peep game on them news, man. This shit's pathetic, man. But in that live stream, I said something to the effect that, look, dude, I can come on here and give a non-black fighter all the praise in the world, and I genuinely would mean it. I have no problem with it because I'm not racist, right? But these same dudes will never, ever come on here and praise a black fighter, a current active one, an undefeated one that may come off as kind of cocky. They will never do that. They're like the quiet, humble, soft-spoken ones that's not going to make them feel uncomfortable. They're like those guys. How about you like the ones that make you feel uncomfortable too? Guess what? I like Conor McGregor. He talks his shit. He backs it up. But see, if Conor McGregor was a black guy, would he still be notorious? Or would he be infamous? Would he have the notoriety that he does if he was a black guy? From Missouri or something. Same shit, but black guy. I don't think so. I think he'll be probably one of the most hated fighters in the world. If Floyd Mayweather did some of the things that Conor McGregor did, and we know Floyd had his troubles, he was hated for the things that he did. Conor McGregor done some shit that's worse. Arguably worse. And they still love him for it. He didn't get the same kind of flack or criticism that Floyd got. When these guys get in trouble, the Kovalevs and all these guys get in trouble outside of boxing, you don't really hear about it much. But when a black guy gets in trouble, oh man, it's headline news. They make sure you hear about it. They make sure you know all about it. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I know this was a controversial monologue, episode 11. I'm just tired of the bullshit, okay? I'm tired of the double standards. I'm tired of the racial undertones. I'm tired of black fight fans not just being able to support black fighters without being labeled racist or, any of that other bullshit that the people like to say. I understand that in this sport, some of the greatest fighters of all time are African Americans. But that don't mean that that don't mean that we shouldn't be able to support the fighters today. That don't mean we can't support fighters that's not black. Because I still see that unless you Moni Browning or IBFPing, and even if you give Canelo props, they still find a way to spin it and make it sound like you hating on them or, you know what I'm saying? These dudes are absolutely insane. Maybe it's just Canelo's fans. But they really like to say things like, you black guys are jealous and Mexicans rule boxing. We lie, we cheat, we steal. Just like, I don't know. What happened? What happened? Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.